Welcome everyone to the 4th edition of Voices from the Field. We're so glad you could be here with us this evening. Tonight's program is themed Back to School. As we know, it's the month of August when children and youth across the country and even adults get ready to head back to school after a hot summer this summer. Voices from the Field is a new initiative that started in December 2020 by the United Methodist Women National Office as a quarterly virtual education series to feature leaders sharing their work and life stories. The program highlights how United Methodist Women's initiatives supported by your mission giving significantly improves the lives of women, children, and youth around the world. First, a little comment about our national mission institutions, 3 of which will be featured in this evening's programs. United Methodist Women's predecessor organizations established social service programs across the United States at the turn of the 20th century in response to the needs of marginalized and neglected communities, among them newly arrived immigrants, the working poor, the formerly enslaved, and indigenous peoples. Many of these programs survive today as independent, autonomous, nonprofit agencies referred to as national mission institutions. And United Methodist Women maintains its relationship with these organizations. And we'll talk a bit about that as we move through this evening's program. With us this evening is Wesley Community Service Center based in Portsmouth, Virginia, InterServ or Interfaith Community Service Center in St. Joseph, Missouri, and Wesley House Community Services in Louisville, Kentucky. Each of these organizations, among other national mission institutions, has continued to serve in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. This evening, we have with us Ms. Patricia Williams, Ms. Bridget Supple, and Ms. Renata Banks, who will tell us about their educational programming for young children, youth, and adults, respectively. Despite the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, these organizations continue to innovate and even expand their educational services in creative ways. First, I'm honored to introduce this evening President and Chief Executive Officer of the Wesley House Community Services in Louisville, Kentucky, Ms. Patricia Williams.
Thank you, Jessica. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Patricia Williams, and it is my honor to serve as President and CEO of Wesley House Community Services here in Louisville, Kentucky. I really want to extend a warm thank you to Jessica Tullock and the Voices from the Field team and the United Methodist Women as a whole. I understand and recognize that we could not impact our mission and do this work without the support of this great institution. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about our programs today. I appreciate the invitation. So we have been doing this work for 118 years. So helping people help themselves, really simple mission, which I love because it actually represents my personal mission as well. Really simple. We are helping the people that need our help the most. I have only been with the organization just a year. So celebrated August 10th, as a matter of fact. And I started at a time that was very difficult, of course, in terms of the national crisis, the pandemic, social injustice happening around the nation. But again, it was an ideal time to come in and really impact our mission and make a difference for those that we serve. So I've been excited to come in with the mantra to reflect, revive, and to recover, and to really deepen our impact And I am proud to say, with the support of United Methodist Women and others, we have been able to do just that. So we have 3 core programs at Wesley House in Louisville. Those include the GROW program, which stands for Getting Ready for Opportunities in Work. It's a workforce development program. The Youth Brigade Academy, which is an out-of-school time program. And today I was asked to speak about our West Kids Child Development Center, which is solely focused on early child development and helping our kids go to school kindergarten ready. So we have spent the past 12 months really elevating this program to an entire new level. We have partnered with an organization here called Greater Louisville Headstart. However, this initiative is national when you look at, a lot of the kids who are minorities, who have barriers, whether it be economic or social determinants, are starting school behind. We know that those who are able to connect with a program such as Headstart, a formal education program, they are more likely to start school kindergarten ready and socially ready. So this initiative, this partnership has driven so much capacity to our organization in partnership with the dollars, with the volunteerism that we received from United Methodist Women. We received a $400,000 renovation project, which has changed the entire landscape of our Head Start space. Very excited about what it's doing and the opportunity that it's presenting to our children. The picture that you see on the screen shows what the space looked like when I started in August of 2020. It was a nice space, but there was some updates that really have elevated our ability to provide an innovative learning space to our children. So the next photo you will see is just a glimpse. It does not do it justice at all, but this space has truly been elevated to really allow our kids to learn in an innovative space. It's a natural learning space. A lot of the color schemes have changed. We are using the Reggio Emilio inspired learning practices, which really incorporates children to direct where they want to go in the learning space, kind of meeting people where they are. So really excited about what's happening. Want to share just a little bit about how critical this work is. We know that 49% of kids start school behind on day one. And guess what? That 49% typically represents minorities as well as children who are coming from low-income households. So through this work, we are changing the narrative. 49% are, minorities, they're from low-income households, but they are coming into this free program, 100% free, where they are getting first class education and resources. Our motto is now an education institution. Again, kids who start school kindergarten ready are likely to be more successful throughout their education and in life. We are also providing, help to make sure that kids are receiving the proper preventative care, screenings, immunizations, and all the supports they need. So this program is really making a difference for the community that we serve, and we remain excited. Children are on waiting lists at this point to get in, and parents are excited to get access to the information that can also be taken into the household, because we support the parents in addition to the child. So we are currently working on a natural classroom on the outside, which also supports our natural learning, which is the Reggio Emilio model. It improves social skills, motor skills, creativity, a lot of data around how natural environments create space for learning. So we are working on this project as we speak so that we can also bring this environment outside in the same way that learning is happening inside the building. So a lot of times when we, are on these types of forums, and, there's questions from the participants, what can we do? So what's next? What can you do? Of course, you can follow Wesley House Community Services in Louisville, Kentucky. We're on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can spread the word. You can volunteer if you have the capacity to do so. And of course, the financial contributions make all the difference for the work that we're able to do. So I just want to thank you all for your continued support. We see the donations come in from all around the country. This is my first event, so just even excited to see, 150 plus people on this platform. It really speaks to your commitment to advancing the mission of the United Methodist Women around the country. So thank you for your continued support. Jessica?
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for sharing with us about the work and innovation you've done to bring early childhood education to the children of Louisville. Next, we have with us this evening Ms. Bridget Supple. She is the Executive Director of InterServ in St. Joseph, Missouri. Bridget?
Good evening. Let's start that over again. Thanks for having us this evening, for hosting us. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you a little bit about InterServ. InterServ operates the longest running childcare program in Northwest Missouri. It was established in 1911 by the same group of Methodist women who actually started our organization in 1909. We care for children birth through age 18 through high quality educational programs, including early care and education, Southside Youth, and our weightlifting and fitness programs. We have a long-standing tradition of caring for youth, harking all the way back to the 1950s. We have offered a variety of activities of interest to school-age kids at the time that they were offered. As you can see by this, our socialization evenings, which are still popular, by the way, started in 1954 with weekly weenie roast, get together, those kinds of things. And here you see our annual weenie roast. We also have basketball, service activities, girls clubs, boxing, and we've offered a world-class Olympic weightlifting program. This is our first class right here. Started in about 1976-ish, that sent 3 men to the Olympics. 2 were weightlifters, one who silvered at the Olympics, and one was our coach, who's still our coach today, and he was a 2-time Olympic weightlifting coach. Our goals have always been to keep kids off the streets, keep kids out of trouble, and keep kids in school. Southside Youth has always been based on the premise that having a caring adult in the life of a vulnerable youth makes a difference. And it seemed simple enough to do that until the early 2000s, when things began to change. A lot of our workplaces around here closed, and it really demonstrated a need for help for kids who lived in poverty. Our poverty rate began to skyrocket, and today it's about 20%. Southside Youth struggled along doing what it could with minimal staff and an ever decreasing budget. There's never enough money for the kids. While we realized that society had changed, we did realize that what hadn't changed was the need for a caring adult to be involved in the lives of children and youth. But today's kids need more than games and sports to keep them out of trouble. They have real problems at home and in school. What began as a youth program evolved into a full-service youth education, recreation, and socialization program designed to help children be successful in school, at home, and in society, still with the ultimate goal of creating productive, successful, and law-abiding adults who contribute positively to their community. Southside Youth has added classes and activities for children in the STEAM realm, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math, supervised recreation time and fitness classes, camps for spring, summer, and winter breaks, and daily meals for kids who might not otherwise eat every day. We also invite their parents to come eat with them, and that's become kind of a popular program too. We have a full-time caseworker to help children and their families to handle issues that arise and to help them find resources when they need more than what we or their school counselors can provide. And 21st Century has allowed us to pivot to meet the needs of children and families in ways that we really did not expect. Last year, when we started out with spring break camp and nobody went back to school. So we began to offer virtual classes. Virtual classroom, virtual schooling was for kids whose parents had to either keep going into work. So we had a lot of essential workers, or for whom work had not slowed down any while they were working from home and they couldn't help their kids with school. 15 kids enrolled in the last semester of 2020, and 51 enrolled in 2021 school classes. Of those, all passed all of their classes, and 2 young men in 4th grade who told us that they were DNF students made the honor roll all 3 semesters. It was amazing. So our goals still include keeping kids off the streets and out of trouble and in school, but we've added new goals to this too. Experiencing success in school, which is so important to keep kids in school. Building positive social skills, which we've found are lacking these days. Remaining in school until graduation and attaining good life skills. Understanding career options and how you get to a career. And along with goals for the kids come goals for the parents as well. Developing strong parenting skills, providing for the basic needs of your family, ability to help your children with homework, social issues, and school problems, or help them to find help. So happy to get back to some sort of normal in this year, our 3rd year, which starts in about a week here. We are returning to out-of-school activities. We offer after-school recreation time so kids can get rid of the day and relax and just kind of chill out. Tutoring and help with their homework, weightlifting instruction, and fitness activities, both ad-libbed and also guided. And we serve dinner every evening to the kids and any parent who wants to join us. And every Friday we have our most popular thing, actually among staff and kids, which is Friday Fun Night, and it draws in more than 100. The last one of the school year brought in 250 grade and middle schoolers, and they have a great time. We're working on our fall 2021 schedule right now and are excited to roll it out the beginning of September. The kids who come to these classes appear to be thriving. Their parents are happy because they know their kids have a safe place to go every day, and it doesn't cost them anything at all. What happens to these children in the future remains to be seen, but there's a lot of hope for the future of each and every child. We're so excited about this whole program, and some of these pictures show the kids. One of the most fun things we did this summer was a parent and child talent show. It was amazing, the kinds of things that the kids did. So that's basically all I have. And I'll turn it back over to Jessica.
Thank you so much, Bridget. It's great to hear about how InterServ has also adjusted to the pandemic, went virtual, and continued to have successful programs for the youth in Missouri. And last but not least, we have with us Ms. Renata Banks. She is Executive Director of the Wesley Community Service Center in Portsmouth, Virginia. We have 2 Wesleys with us this evening. And I will turn it over to Renata.
Can you hear me? Banks, are you ready? Ready for your live?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone. I'm Renata Banks, the Executive Director of the Wesley Community Service Center located in Portsmouth, Virginia. And just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Detroit. I moved here to Hampton Roads in 2003, and I have over 15 years of nonprofit experience, including being the Executive Director of the YWCA Virginia Peninsula. On behalf of our board of directors, I definitely want to welcome you to the Wesley Center and just excited that you're spending some time with us today to learn a little bit more about what we do. Our organization was founded in 1937 by a great, strong group of United Methodist women who just was able to see a problem of disparity in the south side of Portsmouth, and have created some great programs, including food distribution, our community clothes closet, youth tutoring, our senior computer classes, and it's just great. And I wanted to share a picture of our early board of directors. As you see, diversity is not new to the United Methodist Women. Today, we will explore our adult education programs. And the first one is our GED program that we're actually reinventing. So years ago, the Wesley did have a GED program, and it kind of fell through the cracks. But this year with the pandemic and everything going on, we noticed that it was so many people coming for food and services, and just did a survey and just asking the right questions. And we saw that a lot of parents were losing their jobs and did not have the one piece of thing that they needed to be able to be successful, which was a high school diploma or GED. And with that, it just really encouraged us to, as a board and staff, just really reinvent the program. As you can see, our statistics here in Portsmouth, our income for a household is not even $50,000. Our unemployment rate is 6.7%, which is actually higher than the national level. Our poverty is at 18.2, which again is higher than the national level. It's just hard. Portsmouth is a very unique area. It's a lot of military in this area, but unfortunately, it's a lot of low income families in the same neighborhood.
Hey, Ms. Banks, sorry for the interruption. Do you have any more sign-up sheets for the GED and the senior class?
Oh, sure. We put some out.
It's filling up really fast, so we need some more out there.
That's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we're just so busy around here. So pardon the interruption. So let's just continue on. So many people want to be part of our adult education. And I'm sorry about that interruption. But our GED class is fantastic. We have a curriculum, and we're actually working with a great partner, which is Portsmouth Public Schools. And our partnership includes them doing the testing and us actually doing the tutoring so that people can be really successful and give their best at this level. Because from my understanding, that the GED test is extremely hard. And some of our learners have not been to school in 20 plus years. So we really wanted to have the right kind of partner for this program to be successful. Our GED programs and objective goals are, one, to help members of the community that we serve pass the GED program. The second is to help participants increase their feelings of self-worth. And the third goal is to improve the long-term financial and career outcomes for those who obtain their GEDs through this program. So we definitely want them to be successful. We want them to feel good about themselves. And we also want them to return or re-enter the workforce. This is just a picture of our GED participants. They are like so dedicated. So the way that we recruit for our GED program is really simple. We have a fabulous food pantry, which is really like a little grocery store inside of our building. And with that program, we use that as a nucleus to actually spin off the other things. So everything that comes in there usually comes from the food pantry. So during that time while they're there with us, we make sure that they know the programs that we have, as well as we have partnerships with the Department of Social Services, tons of homeless agencies, as well as domestic violence. And what we're really good at doing is becoming great community outreach. And I really love my board for that. My board of directors are like our board ambassadors. So they're very active in our organization. As an organization, we're very active on social media, and I definitely invite everyone to like us. We go out as much as we can, virtual, face-to-face, to actually do presentations on all the great things that are happening at the Wesley Center. And literally, we just get tons of referrals. We're constantly just reaching out to people and just see how we can serve more people. And it's really just working. What we have is our food hub, and I just wanted to share our information. We actually do distributions on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So every Tuesdays and Saturdays, we're actually introducing our adult education programs, and it's just something that really works, just connecting people from different programs into the programs that they have here at the Wesley Center. And this is another picture of a parent being tutored in math. And then we also have a senior computer class, which I love because they're so cute. They're actually learning computer and really just took it all the way back to how to even turn on a computer and turn it off properly, and saving their documents, as well as being safe on the computer with all these spam and telemarketers. We really wanted them to be safe. And the things that they're learning, we're teaching them the platform of Microsoft Word, which is Word. They do PDFs, they do PowerPoints, they do Excels, and OneNote. I don't even know OneNote. So that's something I'm learning as well. And they just absolutely love it. It's a way that they fellowship and can just come to the building and just spend time with us. This is actually a picture of our adult education, one of our adult education leaders, and he's our teacher, and he just loves, it's just a great program. I can't even talk about it without even smiling. They look so forward to every Wednesday, just learning something new. And it's just basic computer, but I just love how they're just so motivated to learn. And this is just our flyer that we constantly share out, which is absolutely great. It's virtual, and they can actually push the sign up and actually sign up online, or they can just give us a call and we would get them registered for the classes. This is our line dancing class, which is another adult education class that we have on Saturday mornings. The instructor with the headband is actually our representative from our partnership with Virginia Tech. And she's a dietitian, and she also is certified to do line dancing class. So she comes in there, teaches line dance, as well as some nutritional things that we can change. And this is another adult learner class that we have, which is with the American Heart Association, which is a healthy cooking class. And it is phenomenal. They just really learning how to cook without salt, just getting back to basic and just recreating recipes, and they're just so much more healthier. And the gentleman behind us was actually the chef that actually taught them with the American Heart Association. And we are bringing this program back in October. So we're really excited. And this is just a quick snapshot of all of our current programs. Like I said, the GED, our seniors, food distribution, clothes closet, our STEM summer camp, our tutoring program, and as well as our contact information. And just ways that you can help. We love prayers. I pray for the Wesley Center every day, and I just welcome everyone to join us in prayer for all the things that we do. You can support us via Amazon Smile, follow us on social media, like and share our posts, as well as monetary donations. And our supplement number is here, N801870.
All right, Miss Banks, we're getting ready to go.
Is our presentation over already?
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank
Great
you.
things are always happening at the Wesley. See you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renata. It's great to hear about the things that you and your staff and board have done to innovate your GED program, particularly in the time of need, when the COVID pandemic has impacted so many families economically as well. I am now going to turn it over to my colleague, Hortense Terrell, for our question and answer. And as has been mentioned earlier, please feel free to put your questions in the chat so that they can be addressed by our resource speakers.
Good evening, and thanks to each mission institution for your ministry of service to women, children, and youth. And let me share some of the questions that our participants have put in the chat box. During this period of coronavirus, when so many have been so many lives have been upended by the impact of the virus, how do you help your service area to remain hopeful? And any of the institutions can take that question.
Hi, I will address it. I think, we instill hope by keeping our doors open, by being creative. When I started in August, our programs were suspended, and my first order of business was to figure out how we could help people at a time when they really needed us most. There were parents that needed to go back to work, but didn't have care because school was virtual. So we opened our doors as a community learning hub. We found ways to, ensure safety. Of course, safety is number one. But, again, I think somebody else mentioned, one of my colleagues, that, virtual learning for adults, and just really being creative and intentional about ensuring that the services continue, maybe in a different way, but letting people know that our doors are open, and providing services free was definitely a blessing for a lot of families last year and now.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Just by providing childcare and the virtual classrooms for kids that had to be out of school, we weren't able to do some of our recreation things, and basketball was over. There was no way to have a gym full of kids, but we were able to provide socially distanced classes and use masks. We cleaned the building every night. But I think our parents really appreciated when the lights went out, our lights were on still. We were still here for kids and for families. We opened our food pantry up. We had record numbers of families requesting food orders last year. It was averaging about 900 a month, 920 a month. It was just over and above what we normally do. So I think that helped to keep people's hope alive. I agree, Ms. Williams.
Thank you. I have a question for Wesley, Kentucky. You had mentioned that 49%, or in your statistics, you mentioned 49%. And one of our members would like to know if that 49% is 49% of the kids in Kentucky, or it's 49% of the kids in the United States.
Absolutely. Fair question. That is a Kentucky statistic. I do not have the national number, but I can tell you that this is a situation that's being investigated at a national level as well. But I've been following specifically Kentucky and the city, Louisville, as far as where we are and how we're progressing with kindergarten readiness for about the past 5 or 6 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This question is for InterServ.
Mm-hmm.
If you had 15 minutes to speak with your elected representatives, what are the urgent needs that you would flag?
Poverty. They'd all be poverty related. And fortunately, we have a couple of very good representatives here in Northwest Missouri who are very quick to listen to us. Food, reimbursement rates for childcare. We also offer senior in-home services, and the rates for those have not changed in 5 years. So those kinds of things, taking care of people who live in poverty, especially the working poor who have no other resources for help with childcare and help with school lessons, those kinds of things. That's what I would fill those 15 minutes with.
Okay, thank you. And this is a question for Renata. I hope I haven't massacred your name. It says, tell us about your youth programs.
Our youth programs right now, we just finished our summer camp, which this year was video production, which the kids actually did my videos. That's why I was so proud of them. As well as we do virtual tutoring. And our virtual tutoring program is actually ran by certified teachers, math, science, English, history. And it's just a really great program that we have for them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the final question, I think, is my faith tells me that when God calls us to do certain work, God makes provisions. In what way have you found that this to be true in your ministry, especially during this challenging period? And that question is for InterServ.
I'll tell you, we say it's a God thing a lot around here. Last year, we budgeted for this year to be $400,000 in the hole. And we didn't know where it was going to come from or how we were going to do it, but we knew with God's help and the work of our staff, we would figure out a way. We have already surpassed the dollar amount that we expected to be short. And I'm not really sure how. We just, we have a strong faith in God, and I believe that God provides. He did last year, he's done this year. And so we're still struggling. We struggle every day, but we've at least closed that gap to where we know we're going to be able to be open every day for the rest of the year. So that's my biggest God thing right there is don't know where it comes from somewhere, and you have to believe that God has a hand in it. So that's where I think.
Thank you so very much for sharing with us. And please take back our deep appreciation to your mission agencies for the wonderful services and the very important services that they are provided.
Thank you, Hortense. I just want to ask before I wrap up the presentation portions, if any of our speakers this evening would like to make a brief closing comments before we wrap up.
I will. I love that last question because I think that, all of us has really over the last year been able to see whether or not you were called to this work or not. I think if we weren't called to this work, we would have gave up during a time such as these. I think that, when you are doing work that you are purposed to do, and whoever asked the question, I kind of felt something because I am a preacher's daughter. And this is not what I chose. I always say the work chose me. But I think what really keeps us going is knowing that we are instilling hope every day, and to see those transformations in children, in families, it's all the reward. It beats any amount of money in the world. So just thank you all for this opportunity, for this platform, and for what you all do day in and day out to help everyone thrive. Thank you.
I'd like to say that I see 3 very strong women amongst the United Methodist Women here who are all leading organizations that are United Methodist National Mission Institutes. That's astounding to me. It's kind of back to the way it was when the deaconesses ran them. And I'm kind of excited by that. I just really love that.
And I would definitely like to say, it's so many days that people will say, Renata, how do you do the work that you do? Just to give you a snapshot, we are surrounded by heroin and prostitution where I work at in Portsmouth. And I just tell them that I'm doing everything that I can to glorify God. Some days I do things that I can't even understand how I was able to do it. And it's just God. God is just so in everything that I do. And I just try to do everything to glorify God.
Thank you again to the 3 of you. I also want to point out that each of our speakers this evening are leading organizations and stepped into those particular leadership roles as executive director and CEO relatively recently in the past 3 years. I think Bridget, you came in 2018 or 2019. And as Patricia mentioned, she is just approaching her, or has approached her 1-year anniversary, and Renata similarly just again in 2019. So we thank you for your leadership and for taking the time to be with us this evening. We want to thank you, your staff, your board members, and any of you with us on this call that are on this Zoom this evening that have participated in the work of National Mission Institutions in your conference as volunteers or have served on the boards of directors of our National Mission Institutions. We're so grateful also for your work to carry forward the vision of the women, as Bridget mentioned, that founded these various organizations across the country. And United Methodist Women is honored to continue to be in relationship with organizations like Wesley House Community Services, InterServ, Wesley Community Service Center in Virginia, that continue to bravely serve the needs of women, children, and youth despite the odds. We saw that in the past year and a half with the COVID-19 pandemic, and how our national mission institutions kept their services going in creative and innovative ways in a time of increased need of the communities that they have served. In relation to this, the National Office of United Methodist Women supports these organizations through grants, technical support, through trainings of boards of directors, and also through member involvement. So many of you may be serving or have served as volunteers at the various organizations across the country. The importance of undesignated member giving through mission giving cannot be understated to continue to support these organizations, nearly 90 across the United States. Just to give some examples of the direct impact of funding from United Methodist Women for our national mission institutions in 2020, grants from the United Methodist Women National Office helped national mission institutions to provide more than 600,000 meals to families living in poverty. As a direct result of United Methodist Women member mission giving, more than 5,000 women and children in crisis situations benefited from transitional housing and residential therapies and treatments through our national mission institutions. Approximately 16,000 children and youth benefited from high quality early childhood education and homework assistance, most of which, as we heard this evening, was done virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic. 3,000 adults participated in national mission institutions' various job training programs to help develop their skills to find better paying jobs to support their families. And approximately 6,000 individuals from neglected communities received quality health care, including testing for COVID-19 and in 2021, vaccination for COVID-19 through some of our national mission institutions. So it's undesignated giving of our members that makes this possible and ensures that resources that each of us, all of our nickels, dimes, pennies, quarters that we save and give in response to our faith are directed where they're needed most. So this allowed the national office in 2020, when the pandemic hit, to provide emergency grants to many of our national mission institutions for necessary upgrades, sanitation, and other adjustments to their programming and health and safety standards in order to continue their programming. So nearly national 90 mission institutions continue to empower women, care for children, educate youth, house the homeless, provide sanctuary to the abused, advocate for social justice, create economic opportunities, and change neighborhoods. None of this would be possible without the faithful giving of time, prayers, talents, and the financial gifts of United Methodist Women members. And now I will pass the microphone to Christy Campos for our closing. And also to remind you that for those who are able, please stick around. You'll have the opportunity to have more informal conversation with our resource speakers in smaller breakout room sessions, if you'd like.
Thank you, Jessica. As you and Hortense mentioned, we are so grateful. All of us on the Voices from the Field team are grateful. And I know that you will all want to join us in thanking these strong, impactful women leaders from Wesley House Community Services, InterServ, and Wesley Community Service Center. Thank you for being with us tonight and for your inspiring words and continued good work. And thank you to each of you, fellow UMW members who participated and took the time to join us today and witness your mission dollars in action. We hope that you will save the date. Our next Voices from the Field conversation is on December 6th, and you will be hearing about the impact of our vital international mission work and from one of our very vital regional missionaries. As you have seen, and as Jessica mentioned as we began this evening, these quarterly Voices from the Field events feature leaders sharing their work and life stories, their daily challenges, and their hopes and dreams. This conversation series highlights United Methodist Women initiatives supported by your mission giving. If you were moved by the information and stories you heard today, please be sure to use the link provided and make an additional gift now to support the wonderful work of our national mission institutions and invite others to join you in continued support of our mission work. Thank you again.